all who joined us despite such a brief notice about this additional and important briefing. I'm happy to invite now and welcome at the Ukrainian Crisis Media Center the Senior Senator Jameson Inhofe from the Committee on U.S. Armaments.
Much delighted to invite Senior Senator James Inhofe, the U.S. Army Services Committee Chair. Without any further ado, Mr. Inhofe, you're very welcome.
This is very impressive. So listen to this and I get in English. That's good. All right, you guys, first of all, I'm not sure how she introduced me, so I don't. Let me tell you who I am. I'm a member of the United States Senate. I'm from a state called Oklahoma. How many of you have been to Oklahoma? Nobody? Oh, come on, you guys. Anyway, in the Senate, I am the ranking member of the Senate Armed Services Committee. So I have a very intense interest in what's happening in this part of the world. But when you look at the United States, we have other problems too. We have problems with ISIS. We have problems with Ebola. But this is one that is very important to us. And so I came here for this reason. On this trip, I've been to Lithuania. I was helping the president of Lithuania celebrate their liquefied natural gas that they're doing up there, and recommending, and I did that in anticipation of coming here because of all the options that they have in the Ukraine to help with their energy problem here. That's just one of them. If they could open up a terminal here, that would be helpful. And the other options are out there going after the shale that's available. So I'll be going back, because in addition to having the interest that comes from the Senate Armed Services Committee, that is the military interest, I also have the interest of the energy industry. My state of Oklahoma is one of the largest energy, oil, gas producers in the United States. So we went to Lithuania. We had a chance to get that done. Came down here. Tonight I'm going to Jordan, and but we spent all day today here, and I was privileged to have talked to the Prime Minister, the Foreign Minister, the head of the SBU, and of course to President Poroshenko. So I'll just give you a couple of my observations. I'm old enough, I'm a lot older than any of you guys in this room, and so I remember what happened during the Reagan Revolution, what happened to all the countries in the Soviet Union, and I celebrated at that time. I happened to be a very close personal friend of Ronald Reagan at that time. And so we all rejoiced. I've been very disturbed about President Putin, what he has been doing since the time that he started everything taking place here and elsewhere. Right before the Winter Olympics, I was at the in Jordan. In where else were we? Was I there? Jordan and. Cordova, I guess it was, yeah. And anyway, and I got a great concern over these other countries out there, that it's not just where we are today. There's another problem, and that is a term that I have kind of initiated myself. I feel that Putin is trying to de-Reaganize the Soviet Union. In other words, those things that took place, he'd like to get those reversed. I'm very much concerned about that. I know that the Ukraine is now experiencing a new freedom. The elections that took place last week were just incredible. That it's just a strong pro-Western Ukraine right now, and I'm here to make sure that everyone in this room passes the word out that the United States of America is going to be considered Ukraine's best friend. We have some resources, somewhat limited, but we want to do what we can to give the support to the Ukraine, and that's what our intention is. You may have heard even our President Obama, this morning, I guess it was, he responded to the statement about the election that was going to take place in the East as an illegal election. And of course, I agree with that statement. You have a lot of opportunities here. You have a new president. I'm very, very impressed with him, the time that we spent together. I'm also impressed with the prime minister, whose party is now, as the results come in, looking very, very good. So I'd be glad with that as openers to respond to any questions you guys might have.
Thank you so much. We certainly have some questions.
Let's see, make sure this works now.
111.
Okay.
Radio Liberty, Radio Free Europe, Жанна Пастючук. Mr. Senator, I would like to ask you about the draft resolution that we know about here in Ukraine that concerns the possibility of providing Ukraine with high-precision weapons by the U.S. This draft resolution, as far as we know, it's registered at the American Parliament and has to be passed through by Senate and by also House of Representatives, and then signed by the President. So my question is, maybe you could explain us how much time might it take to go through all this path?
Mm-hmm.
First of all, does it have chances to be approved by the American Parliament and signed by the President? And what exactly can Ukraine get once the...
Okay, let me go ahead and respond. I know the thrust of your question. First of all, you say precision weapons. I don't want to be specific about what kind of weapons. I talked to the Minister of Defense. I asked the Minister of Defense for a specific list of those defensive weapons that they would like to have in order to meet the challenges facing them. I have that list. I'm taking it back. I will not share that with you because he gave it to me to take back to the United States and to our Senate Armed Services Committee. Now, the way it works in our country, you don't have to take it to Congress. You don't have to take it to the House and to the Senate. First of all, it's defensive weapons that we're talking about. And these defensive weapons can be done without additional legislation. The President can do this, and we're going to encourage him to do it. Now, we go back into session, a lame duck session, starting on the 12th of November. And when we do that, if the President, for some reason, does not get something like this done, we will make every effort through our committees to make sure it does happen. So to answer your question on the timing, it could be as short as 4 or 5 days, and it could be as long as 14th. It would be 2.5 weeks. Well, we don't know when it's going to take place. It's going to take place when if the President wants to take the initiative, the President can take the initiative to put enforcements in. That could happen without any resolutions, any votes. If for some reason that didn't happen, but I think it will, that we're going to go back, we're unified now. Some people are not aware that we're not always unified within the United States. I'm a much more hawkish person than the President Obama is. We have different personalities. That's what America is all about. It's a representative government. But we do deal with the majority, and I'm very convinced that we have a majority of the people, not just in the military, not just in government, but in America, who want to have as a top priority to help this great new freedom that has taken place as a result of your elections become a reality and reject the returning to the old type of Soviet Union.
We have one more question from here.
Thanks. My name is Valery Jutenko. I'm from Spilno Bachania.
Recently, who do you represent?
Civil Society Internet Channel. We've been Spilno Bachania, Spilno TV.
Internet news channel.
Oh, okay. That's fine.
Yeah, we were among the ones who've been broadcasting Maidan live through all of the time. Recently, Stratfor has published a paper which was meant to encourage the US defense authorities to begin to elaborate the Black Sea strategy, pointing that one of the natural reasons why America cannot intrude into the situation in the eastern Ukraine is that it doesn't have any facilities in the neighborhood, so the Ukraine has typically considered it as a no-one's land. And also they would join both the ISIS and the Ukrainian problem into the one single strategy called Black Sea strategy. They have been referring that the United States have Caribbean defense strategy and the Pacific defense strategy. And there is definitely a need to elaborate the Black Sea strategy. Based on what you know, is this just a theory, or it starts taking hold and becoming more formal approach within the official government?
I think what you're suggesting is something that's based on a flawed philosophy or premise. And that is, I didn't come here to say that the United States of America is going to be in any way directly involved in military activity. We're talking about supporting one of our strongest allies, the Ukraine. We will support them in a way that they feel is going to be most meaningful to them. And we will not be involved in any type of combat. Obviously, we have limited capabilities ourselves.
We have one more question from here.
Hi, Mr. Senator. My name is Chris. I work here at the center, and I'm wondering if you can comment on the elections. And as I'm sure you know, the Republican Party is widely expected to win a majority in the House as well as the Senate, and how this might change.
Oh, elections in my country.
In your country.
Oh, okay.
I'm actually American too, so my country as well. And how this might affect policy towards Ukraine.
Oh, I can do that, yes. I hope everyone's listening to the question. I'll repeat it in case you didn't. He's asking me what's going to happen a week from today in the elections that take place in the United States. It happens, as you all know, because you're all very intelligent, sophisticated people, that we have a United States Senate and a House. The House stands for election every 2 years. All House members will be up. The Senate every 6 years. That means a third of the Senate will be up. At the present time, we, the Republicans, I am a conservative Republican, the majority in the Senate are Democrats. In order to become a majority, we have to win a net of 6 seats. Well, we won't win a net of 6 seats. We'll win a net of 8 seats. And so the Republicans will become the majority, and you will see a difference in the approach of things. The Republicans, quite frankly, are much more national security oriented. We're much stronger in terms of a strong national defense, and you're going to see that reflected in what happens. Now, you could ask the question, well, of course, you will have a majority in the Senate. You will not have a veto-proof majority. That's true. However, there will be a lot of Democrats that would join us and are in agreement with us, and that would probably, I would predict, and remember, you heard it here first, you'll see some vetoes that are overridden. So I think you're going to see a change in the United States Senate, which will have the effect of a change in American policy.
We have one more question from Ukrainian.
Senator, we have to watch the time a little bit.
Yeah, we'll be fine. Yes.
Добрий день. Добрий день, мене звати Станіслав.
I'm Stanislav.
We'll see if this works.
111, can you hear? Так. Stanislav Feshchenko, 1+1 TV channel from Kiev. Could you please tell what is your real objective of your visit to Ukraine? Is that list of weapons given to you by the Minister of Defense, can it be really implemented? Or have you come here to just organize some PR campaign for yourself?
She's asking, you're asking if I'm here to organize some PR campaign for myself. Let me assure you, when I said that a third of the Senate are up for re-election, I'm one of those. And probably it would not be a very popular thing for people at home to know that instead of running my own election that takes place a week from today, that I'm over here. And obviously, I hope you understand that is not the situation. As far as the list that was given to us by the Minister of Defense. We have limited resources, and so our hope, and I'm going to say our hope, I speak for most Americans and for those in the political system in the House and the Senate, that we'll be able to be of great help to Ukraine, and not that they give us a wish list and we give them everything they want, but the fact that we'll give them everything that we feel with our limited resources to help our best friend.
Do we have?
I'm sorry. Mr. Obama said no several times. Can he change his opinion under the pressure of your committee?
No, I don't think that. Times change. He doesn't. He can. People will change. And I don't know what you're talking about when you said he said no several times, because last night or this morning, in response to what he referred to as the illegal election that could be taking place in the East, that's something that he would not have said a week ago, a week before that, or a year ago. So people do change. We feel that we have support for Ukraine in the United States Senate, the United States House, and we'll go back and we'll act accordingly.
Can we take one more question, Mr. Senator?
Yes, of course.
Thanks for coming and for your speech. I'm Nikolai Vorobyov, Ukrainian political and now military journalist. I spent a lot of time on the Eastern Front line. And I have two short questions. The first is, I met like a lot of guys like on the ground, and there is a lot of like misunderstanding in informational exchange between Western countries and what happens on the ground. What especially your source, informational source, which you receive about the situation on the Eastern Front? Is it CNN or maybe some intelligence? I don't know. And it was the first question, sorry. And the second question, what do you expect from new Ukrainian government? How can you evaluate its aspirations to get something? Because I've heard when Poroshenko came to the United States, it was the last day, a day before these congressional senators went to vacations or something like within their campaign. How do you evaluate like our aspirations to get some support from them?
Okay, your question number one is what's my source? My source isn't any single source. Yes, we do get it from the media, but we also get it from the intelligence, not just our intelligence, but our allies in their intelligence. And so we try to draw a conclusion as to what the truth is. I've heard a lot of various messages as to what's happening in the East. I've heard just recently that there are some identifiable Russian soldiers that are very close by there. I think there may be some truth to that, but what we have to do is the same thing that you have to do. That is weigh very carefully from all the information sources that we have and try to determine what the truth is. And we've always done that. We'll continue to do it. Now, as far as what we would expect in terms of the government, what they would expect from us. Let's keep in mind when Poroshenko came over, he was received, and I have served in the United States Senate for 20 years. I've gone to a joint session of the legislature more than once each year for those 20 years. I've never seen one person received more favorably than Poroshenko was received by the members of the House and the Senate in the United States. I think you're going to see us looking at him as a very rare person. He's demonstrated that to us, who has the intelligence, the capability to be an excellent partner of ours. We plan to support him as best we can, and I believe that's going to happen.
Mr. Senator, the last one question from me then. Mr. Poroshenko the President Poroshenko has a big credit of trust and appreciation from U.S. So what would be the piece of advice that you would like to give to the fresh Ukrainian government and parliament?
Okay, the advice that I would give to this new government, and it is a new government, and it was a government that was overwhelmingly elected, and it's pro-Western, and that makes me very happy, is that there has been corruption in Ukraine. There have been problems in Ukraine, and we have a team that I spoke to almost every member of that team today, individually, and some of them collectively, including the president. And I advised them, I said, start your reforms. You get busy on the reforms, because there's a lot of people out in the world who don't believe you're going to be able to do that. We believe you will, and you're going to be our partner, and you're going to see a new Ukraine and a free Ukraine, and we'll all rejoice.
This is a very great closing line. Thank you so much, Senator, for making it up to us. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.